Would love to know from your experience, if possible, or in another video, the order of property costs, property purchase process, and what stage do you get a survey? Is this before the purchase? Thanks. Great question, thanks for that. So as you can see on screen here, I have made a graphic to split up the process into the different steps, what happens at each step, and the costs that you pay at each step. So let's take a look. First off, you've got the viewings. So the viewings process is exactly as it says on the tin. You're basically going around viewing properties, booking in a load, getting your feet on the ground and seeing these properties. So what happens during the viewings process as it relates to the purchase of a buy-to-let property? So you're going to want to instruct a lawyer to open a file, and I would recommend doing this before you actually agree a sale price, which is the next step, just to have everything in order and to have your lawyers ready to go so you don't waste any time once you've agreed a sale price then trying to contact a lawyer, a conveyancer, and getting them to open a file for you. So instruct a lawyer and get a file open. Also, I'd say slightly before or just as you're doing viewings, get a broker, get in contact with a broker and get a decision in principle, because that's going to let you know how much you're able to borrow, which is fundamental to everything, okay? In terms of payments, what you're going to have to pay usually, but not always, is a file opening fee, money on account, they call it different things, with your lawyer, your conveyancer. So once you instruct them, sometimes they ask you for 50 quid, 100 quid on account to open a file for you. Next step is to agree a sale price. So you've done all your viewings, you've made an offer, it's agreed, the seller's agreed at a certain price. What you're going to do during this stage is to get a survey and or evaluation done, depending on your risk appetite. I personally nowadays recommend getting a survey done every time, because for me it's worthwhile knowing if there's any issues, especially structurally, with the property. Valuation, I mean, your mortgage lender does the valuation anyway, so you don't necessarily need to get a valuation, but there might be some scenarios where you do. And also, this is quite a key one, start providing or start gathering all of your ID documents. So stuff like your work contract, your pay slips, your proof of IDs like your passports, utility bills, tax returns, all of that you're going to need to provide to your broker and your solicitor as well for your property buy-to-let purchase. They're going to need all of that, so worthwhile getting that ready now, nice and early, okay? In terms of what you pay for at the stage, you're going to pay for the survey for sure. That's depending on the level of survey. You got level 1 all the way up to level 3. Level 3s could be all the way up to £1,000 plus. Level 1s can start round about £300-400. Broker fees, usually I pay round about £400 for broker fees. And you can see that I've said broker fee to submit. Sometimes they ask for part of the broker fee to submit your mortgage application, and then they charge the remaining broker fee once you've gotten an offer, okay? And then lastly is disbursements. Now, in the past, I've paid round about £100 for disbursements, and disbursements cover stuff like ordering title documents from the land registry and stuff like that. So that's disbursements. And then comes the longest portion, the longest part, stage of buying a property, buying a buy-to-let in the UK, and that is the legal conveyancing. This is the stage that most people get frustrated with because it takes, frankly, way too long in this country. Anything from 3 to 6 months is a reasonable expectation for conveyancing, okay? And what are they doing during that? They're doing stuff like searches, so environmental searches, local authority searches, and all that's to find key information out about your property that you're buying. They're also raising inquiries off the back of those searches, and also just their general conveyancing, raising inquiries with the seller's conveyancers, the seller's solicitors, and they're going back and forth, raising inquiries, asking questions, getting responses, asking more questions, okay? And also during this stage, your mortgage offer should come through, your full mortgage offer. And again, your solicitor, your conveyancer will, look over your mortgage offer and give you a summary report on the mortgage offer and the key things that you need to know. So this is the longest stage, and just a quick tip, pro tip, it's really advisable to be ringing your solicitors, your conveyancer, at least once every 2 weeks. I do at the end of each week, just to give them a prod, to let them know, hey, look, I'm on you. I'm not micromanaging. I'm not being a pain in the butt, but I really want this process to go as fast and smooth as possible, because sometimes they can get a bit complacent. In terms of what you pay for, you're going to pay for those searches, search fees. I've paid all the way up to £700-ish at this stage in the past for other properties, and also your remaining broker fee. The next stage, hey, my goal is to get as many people investing this year as possible, so I've created some free resources in a link in the description of this video below that you can download completely for free to get you started on your property investing journey. I've put together a property investing calculator specifically for all the viewers of this channel for free. You just enter a few basic numbers and it instantly calculates all of your costs, profits and returns automatically to help you make the decision on whether to potentially invest or not. I've also created a free fundamentals of property fact sheet that gives you all of the basics and key information that you need to know when buying a property, and there's links with discounts on tax advice and tax return services, which are a key part of being a property investor. I hope you enjoy these free resources. Enjoy, and back to the video. Is exchange, that's when you as a buyer and the property seller exchange contracts and the purchase of the property becomes legally binding. So you pay your deposit at this stage and you will not get your deposit back if you back out at this stage. And then at the end of that, once that's all done, once exchange is done, you get completion. Sometimes exchange and completion happen at the same time on the same day, sometimes slightly after. All depends. But completion is the point at which you get the keys and the house is legally yours. The whole thing is complete. You get a completion statement at the end of that, and that's usually made up of the remaining legal fees, right? So you've paid for searches, you've paid for disbursements along the way, and you're probably going to have a couple of thousand left to pay in the legal fees, the remaining legal fees, the bulk of the legal fees at the end upon completion once it's all done. So that's the stages and that's the amounts that you pay through the life of a property purchase. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. This year I'm making a video every month to answer any questions that you have for me. So whether you want to know whether you should invest in a limited company or in your own name, whether you should buy a flat or a house, what is the best way to get started in property, or who my barber is, just let me know. You can ask me in the comment section below, on Instagram, on TikTok, and I'll make a video dedicated to your questions. Like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.